Hi, everybody. I'm out on a beautiful spring day, and my plan for this series of videos is to talk about my youth, my experiences in life, and how I was shaped by being raised in a cult. It's my plan not to divulge what cult it is, but for those of you in the know, you'll figure it out easily enough. It's not too hard. It's not rocket science. So, pardon any traffic noise you might hear. I'm going to be crossing the street and walking along the golf course path. Hopefully we'll see a flock of geese, and I'll try to aim I'm on my phone. I'll try to aim my phone towards the flock if we see one, because they're really awesome. And they fly pretty low, so it's nice. So, so my parents, they're both gone now. But they got a knock on their door sometime around I'm going to say around 1955, because I have 3 older sisters, and they all experienced Christmas and holidays and things like that for the first few years of their lives. My father, he was a Marine before this happened. And I mean, several years before. Probably, like, he would have been deployed in World War II, but the war had ended. So his battalion would have been like pretty much the next in line to go, but then they got called off, and he was stationed in Camp Lejeune. So they were all pretty deep in the cult when I was born. They like I was starting to say, they had their door knocked on by a friendly German couple who pretty much recruited them into the cult. They started Bible studies in their home, and they had them start going to meetings and all of that. And my parents were uniquely susceptible to this kind of persuasion, the love bombing, the community, all of what goes on when people are newly recruited into a cult. So when I was born, they were deep in it. And I never had a holiday. I never had a birthday. Never missed it because I had no idea what I was missing. But, at school as a little kiddo, it puts you in a weird, uncomfortable position, right? But I want to talk about my parents and what made them uniquely susceptible to this kind of conditioning. My mother and father were married in 1944. My mom was 19 maybe, and my dad was 4 years older. So he was like, or maybe, no, he was 5 years older. So my mom was born in 1920. My dad was born, no, my father was born in 1920. My mother was born in 1925. And so actually I think he was 5.5 years older because he was born in January. My mom was born in August. So that would have been 5.5 years older. Anyway, math. My mother had, she lived at home with her parents when she was a girl. She always wanted to be a singer. And when she died, I inherited all her old magazines, Hit Parade, and I got to see like her little notes in there for contests, singing contests and things like that. And so she was a musician. She played piano. And my father was an engineer, Lehigh Valley, Lehigh College. So Ivy League, I guess. That never meant anything to me until like years after I was gone from there. But he was a genius. He began his college career when he was 16. And then he joined the Marines, I believe, after graduation. I'm not sure if he had a scholarship. I think he might have, because of his brains. And he was very intelligent. My mom was, educated at the high school in her small hometown. And she was a victim. This is going to be hard, and I'm divulging a lot right now. The first video right out of the gate. Why not? That's what it's here for, right? But every Friday night, her father worked nights, from my understanding. I never knew my grandfather on either side. But my grandfather's brother and father would come and play poker and hang out with my grandmother. And they would proceed to rape my mother every Friday night from the time she was 6 to the time she was 12. Needless to say, she had a horrible childhood. They stopped when she was 12. She's like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I have a feeling she always lived with the guilt of, like, if it was so easy to get them to stop, why didn't I say it sooner? Well, because you were 6 to 12, right? Who's going to know that? Who's going to know what child until you kind of, well, first of all, start menstruating and know what the deal is. Like, the grown-ups in your life are enough of, it's like that's your world. You don't know any differently until you start seeing, oh, my classmates aren't afraid of this, that, and the other. They have loving homes. And I love my grandmother. I didn't learn about any of this until at my grandmother's funeral. when I was 23 years old. My mother and oldest sister were in a department store, and they saw a woman who my mother just she ran from. She didn't want to see this woman. I still have no idea what. Sorry about the traffic noise if you hear it. I have no idea what the correlation was. I think it was like maybe her uncle's wife, or maybe it was like an aunt of hers, like my uncle's sister, something like that. But apparently she must have known what was going on. So anyway, here I'm gonna show you the sky now. Beautiful sky. It's a little cloudy. I hope it doesn't start raining. I don't see any gray sky around me, just cloud cover. Take a breath. It's pretty deep conversation. And rewind to my father's upbringing. His father was very strict. Again, another genius. Apparently he worked on the Holland and the Lincoln tunnels in New York City. I have a picture of him with Mayor LaGuardia. So a little factoid, I never knew him. They all look like a bunch of gangsters in this photo. But I just saw it for the first time about 1.5 years ago. And so anyway, but he was a very, and I can see in his picture, he looked like a sort of a diminutive man, and he looked so angry. I think it was a cold night, so maybe it was just cold. You know, give him the benefit of the doubt. He died of a heart attack at age 52. And apparently he used to beat the crap out of my father just for being 5 minutes late from school or wherever. And in the front yard for all the neighbors to see. Public humiliation. Now, they were, I want to say, Presbyterian. So they were not in the cult, not in this cult. My mother was raised Catholic. So 2 broken people get a knock on the door from a sweet German couple. Would you like to study the Bible? Would you like to come to the meetings and meet all the lovely brothers and sisters and live in a paradise earth forever and ever and ever, where no pain exists? Would you like that? So I think I'm going to wrap it up for this one. Thank you so much for listening. I will be uploading another one shortly to continue my story. Please like and subscribe and comment kindly. If you are in the said cult, you know who you are. Don't bother to leave a comment. It will be happily deleted. Thanks, everybody.